Does anybody believe this?
Yes, they believe it. The media believes that it is their job to continue pursuing this Russia storyline.
No, I mean the American people.
The American people
believe this.
You know, I think that you're seeing that the American people are tired of the story. With that being said, I just believe that it's for the media, and in terms of the mainstream media, they are focusing on every single possible detail. But let me tell you, there's a lot to talk about with Russia.
Yeah.
They need to be talking about Syria. Now we saw this bilateral ceasefire in Syria. I mean, they need to make progress in the area of Russia. It is a superpower. It has strong influence in the Middle East region. I want President Trump to be talking to Putin on these issues.
When we got the write-through of the actual formal meeting, what went on in the actual formal meeting? Did he challenge him on entering the Middle Eastern fray? Did he challenge him on going into Ukraine, Crimea? I mean, did he challenge him on meddling in the election? This is what we want to know.
Right.
What were the real substantial issues in the formal meeting?
Well, the storyline was that he did challenge him twice on meddling in the U.S. elections. The pushback that some people gave was that he didn't challenge him robustly enough. But we weren't in that meeting. It's hard to know exactly what the body language was and how tough.
But there was a write-through on that one. I'm talking the formal meeting, the one that was 2.5 hours.
Well, he did an interview. The president did an interview with Christian Broadcast News, and he discussed that, look, we had a very substantial meeting. We ended up having a ceasefire in Syria, which, by the way, while the media is very, very focused on these little things like handshakes and this G20 dinner and this allegedly undisclosed meeting, they're not actually focusing on the results of what has happened over the past week in Syria, which is a ceasefire, which came out of the formal meeting. The president discussed during that interview that, look, Vladimir Putin's going to do what he needs to do for the best interest of Russia, and I'm going to do the best interest for the United States, and we have a good relationship, but we still need to have a dialogue and have much work to do.
That's a really good point, Katie.
In fairness to the president, throughout the campaign, he said he thought he could get along with Putin, that he could develop a relationship with him. If they sat down at dinner, that's what developing a relationship is. You sit down at a dinner with someone and you talk to them. In my mind, the problem here is if they went away from the table and had a private conversation.
That's a good point.
Let's remember.
But if it was at the table, it's fair game.
You can't say it's a secret meeting.
And let's remember, going from past president to past president, that relationship with Russia has always been complicated. Whether it be President Obama and his tense relationship with Putin, George W. Bush basically saying, I've seen the soul of Putin. It is always trying to figure out a very complicated figure. And I think for President Trump, he needs to get to know this guy and really understand who he's up against. And I think that that's very clear. And I think that you did see progress coming out of the official meeting. That was one meeting alone with very complicated details in terms of issues related to Russia and the United States.
So final thoughts on this in terms of where this goes. Are we just going to hear about this ad nauseum on the mainstream media, that there was the secret meeting and nothing, and we're still trying to figure out what was said? I mean, where does this go?
Congress will probably call on Vladimir Putin to testify committee to talk about what happened during the meeting.
Yeah, let's spend more money on
Another investigation will certainly be launched into what happened at that meeting.
Incredible.
That's my guess.
Great conversation. Katie, thank you very much for weighing in. Katie Pavlich there.